Hello, my name is Lady, and today let's pump up your resume or CV. Actually, this is the first video in my entire YouTube channel, and I hope to share more knowledge from my professional and academic experience with you guys. So, this channel is not just about job hunting, recruitment, or industrial stuff. I will also be sharing more on psychology theories. What else? Abnormal psychology, all things psychology. So if you would like to learn psychology, give me a like, a subscribe, comments. They are much appreciated. So I'm still beginning my journey here in YouTube, and I hope that you can support me with this. Okay, so back to the topic. Our first topic would be how to stand out through your resume or CV. So I know that job hunting is quite a challenge these days, especially that recruitment agencies, different companies are using various platforms for recruitment. So they have their own applicant tracking systems, or they might be using AI to review the resumes. So it's kind of tricky these days to land a job based on a short summary of your skills and professional experiences. All right, so without further ado, let's start. Okay, to differentiate resume and CV, let's start first with defining resume. So it comes from the French word itself, resume, which means summary. So that in itself means that you have to make your profile short. The three main things that should be there are, of course, number one, your basic information, your name, the nickname that you go by, your contact details, where you're from, and basically that's it for the basic information. You don't have to put your height, weight, color of your eyes, color of your hair, unless if the position you're applying for has to ask those details. Like, for example, you're applying for a flight attendant or a store clerk, since you'll be carrying some heavy stuff, you'll have to be healthy and fit to go back and forth your workplace. So you have to indicate those kinds of details. And perhaps also if you're applying for remote work or an international company, you might want to declare your nationality, your ethnicity, your working rights. What else? Your willingness to relocate or to travel, you can put that in your profile as well. Moving on to education, you don't have to list kindergarten education up until college or post-grad, but just make sure to like include your elementary, high school, college, and any graduate or post-grad schools that you're affiliated with. And even though you haven't finished your degree, for example, you haven't finished college, you haven't finished your master's, that's all right. Just put the schools there, the duration of how many years you've been studying that, because not having a degree doesn't mean that you're disqualified right away, unless if they're very strict with it. So you just declare those kinds of information so that the recruiter or the interviewing manager will immediately know um, how long you've been studying in this school. And then last is the work experience, of course, which I will be discussing more in detail later on. So, of course, this is submitted to potential employers, or you can display this online. Maybe you have your professional website, whichever you maintain. Some put it in a blog post, some put it on social media like LinkedIn, which is professional social media. Okay, so now we have the CV. Now the CV, it's still pretty much similar to the resume, but it's typically longer since this kind of outlines all of your achievements. So it will also include your academic achievements. So in school, what place did you finish? Like, for example, were you a dean's lister during college? So you have to put that. Or were you a consistent scholar in your school? So those kinds of things. Affiliations, memberships in different clubs, organizations, all your extracurricular activities. Like, for example, you're volunteering at an NGO, or you're also part-timing as an English as a second language teacher, or if you are um, also dedicating some of your time during the weekends at your choir in church. So you can put that. And fellowships, grants, awards, these are very much relevant for researchers or those who had their graduate or post-grad studies. And then for some people in the corporate world, awards mean a lot. So you can put that there. Training, seminars, webinars, certifications, licenses, you can put that in your CV. So the next time you make a profile that has all of these details, it's not a resume, it's a CV. Okay. So again, which one should you submit? That depends. That depends on the company you're applying for, or also the position that you're applying for, or your preference. If you really want to flaunt yourself, then go for the CV. But if you want a summary only, then the resume will suffice. But typically, the CV is very much important for high ranking positions. Like if you're in the top management, or you're running for public office, or in the academic fields, CV is very important, especially if you're going for a professor level or a chancellorship. CV is very important. But for rank and file and staff level or beginner level positions, then the resume will suffice. Okay, let's go to the tips now. This is quite exciting. I have some examples prepared for you. So the first tip is, of course, to keep your profile short, even if it's a CV, because again, no recruiter, no interviewing manager has all the luxury of time to read and remember everything on your profile. Okay, so don't be surprised. Like, for example, if you are asked to be interviewed, don't be surprised if the recruiter or the manager will ask you some things that you've already written in your resume. Okay, let's not play God in here that the resume the recruiter or the manager would know all of your details in one go. It's not like that. So don't get irritated about questions that may seem redundant, but just make sure to highlight yourself, your skills, your work experiences. So keep your profile short. So if ever you're putting there your past employment, you can put like the name of the company, how long you've been with the company. You don't have to put like the months You can just put the years that you've been with them. However, if it was just a short period of time, then that's the time you'll be putting the months there. Like, for example, April 2024 to December 2024, something like that. But if you've been with the company for like 2 years, then you can just put 2021 to 2023, something like that. Okay, so keep your profile short and you don't have to copy paste your entire job description file into your profile. Okay, just put there the basics of what you do on a daily basis and what are your achievements. Okay, so tip number two is always make sure that you are reachable. Okay, so here's a sample of a software engineer's header in his resume. I made this one up actually. So you have your name here. It is the biggest font in the header. And then the position, or you might want to write a short summary, one-liner summary about yourself um, in terms of your professional experience. Like, for example, in my case, I can put registered psychometrician, graduate student, and a human resource professional seeking for a new challenging role, something like that. And then location where you're from, and then your phone number. Make sure to put the area code because sometimes if you're applying for remote work, the area codes would really help a lot, especially if they're using different apps to call you, like for example, WhatsApp. So the area code matters. And then your email address. Make sure that the email address is also not very much difficult to copy paste or to type on. So I would really prefer email addresses that are um having this work word here, work underscore jdc at gmail.com, work dot something like that, choo work. I don't know. It gives an impression that says this is my work email. Okay, so for students applying for internships, you can use your education mail or your school email. That would be much preferable so that we will know that this is a legitimate email address. We're not sending this email to just anyone else. Okay. And don't make or don't use funny email addresses. Okay. We wouldn't want to feel weird copy pasting and typing your email addresses. Okay. So one good thing about having a header in your resume is you can also insert your social media pages if you'd like. So the most important social media platform in a professional setting is LinkedIn. But if you have other accounts like Glassdoor, Indeed, whatsoever, you can put that here. But tell you what, LinkedIn is very important in today's world. I don't think any other professional social media app or site has ever leveled to LinkedIn. LinkedIn is very, very useful in job hunting and connecting with others. So better put your LinkedIn profile here, your URL. And for example, if you're a software engineer, you're a graphic designer, social media manager, whatsoever, if you're a video editor, if you have a specific platform where we can view a portfolio there, you can insert it here. So for example, software developers or software engineers use GitHub for their portfolios. So you can put the link here. That's GitHub's logo. I'm not sure if the format of the GitHub URLs are like this. I just made this up. But yeah, that's how it looks like for a software engineer. You can just tweak along as you make your resume. So that's it. Tip number 3. Give a summary of what you do and what you've achieved in your past roles. So this is what I mentioned earlier. Let me show you. So for example, you have your company A and you've been with the company for, let's say, from 2020 to 2023. So you can put that here. And you can put in bullet points the main things or tasks that you do in that company. So you can put here how you started and what are the main highlights of your stay in this company. And if you have held multiple roles in the past, you can also put that here. So it doesn't have to be a long thing. You just highlight what needs to be known to the recruiter about your employment here. Okay. So you can also say that I've been awarded the best employee for the month of something, or I've been awarded the loyalty award for being here for 3 years. So those kinds of things. Okay, tip number 4 is keep the design neutral to the eye. Oh my gosh, I would like to emphasize this over and over again because most of you do not know how to put your resume intact and visually pleasing. Because let's admit it, we people are very visual, especially for recruiters. We sit down sipping our coffee looking at the resumes all day. So yeah, we'd also like to see something clean. Okay, I have here some samples. If you don't want to use your picture, that's fine. Usually it's not an issue. Of course we'd like to see you in person, but I also believe that there's a proper avenue for that. Like, for example, the HR interview in itself, the final interview in itself. We can ask you to turn on your camera. Okay. Because we'd like to know if you're a human. Because in these days, it's all about AI, it's all about stolen profiles and whatsoever. We'd like to get to know who you are. That is the main task of a recruiter, HR professional, or an interviewing manager. So during interviews, it's all about you. We'd like to get to know. So here, if you're not using your picture, that's fine. Just put here your header, your contact details, and the rest of your resume. But if you are putting your picture, that's fine also. You can make use of frames like what this woman is doing here in her resume. She used a circle frame for her picture. You can also use a square one. You can use something with borders to make it more classic. So it's really up to you. And you make sure that the whole design of your resume, whether it's the colors, the mix of the icons, the borders, the fonts, they should all look professional, aligned. When you say aligned, it should be homogeneous or very much uniform with each other. We don't want to throw in many kinds of fonts and many kinds of sizes, many kinds of colors. We don't want that because that's not pleasing to the eye. It's likely you can have your resume edited by someone else who's much better at editing pictures, or you can use templates online. There are many resume templates online, especially on Canva. Okay, by the way, this is not sponsored, but if you want to sponsor me or tie up with me, well, then that's even better. Okay, so next we have these two. Basically the same with the previous ones, but I'm just highlighting here the choice of the color. It's very much minimalist. It's gray and white. together with some touch of a design here. So this is actually nice. And this one also, the red borderline here, it's so nice to look at. And he also placed the important details in bold. So at least in one glance, we can already see which parts are interesting and which parts are just sprinkles or add-ons. All right. So again, with the debate of having a picture or not in your resume, the answer is it depends. So if you're going to add your, what you call this, if you're going to add your picture to your resume, show your entire face, of course, show shoulders and up. So you wouldn't want to have your head alone, right? That's weird. At least we know that you can dress professionally, at least from the top. And use a high quality photo. Don't use anything that's blurred or the quality has been compromised. Make sure that it's a high definition photo. And keep your face facing forward. Don't tilt it to the side. But if ever you're using power poses, that's fine also. Just make sure that the execution is proper and it's not more like of a photo shoot on a cover of a magazine. So just be professional about it. Give the vibe that you're confident, you're competent, and you're fit for the role. And yeah, the smile should be approachable, friendly, but not too much of a grin. Something that's well balanced and a smile that says, I'm ready for you. I'm ready to commit to this job. And regarding the top, of course, that should be business, smart casual, or formal wear. So what you don't want to do for your photo is upload a selfie photo or a mirror selfie. Trust me, guys, I've seen many, many bad photos on a resume, especially with the mirror selfies and personal selfies. Oh my gosh. I could laugh or maybe get secondhand embarrassment from pictures like that. And even on LinkedIn, although it's social media for professionals, you would still like to present yourself as a professional, right? You don't want to um put your selfies there unless if your picture is like traveling or you're in a hotel lobby or something. At least that would say that you've been to places because of your job, something like that. But regarding a selfie, it's inappropriate, and a super close up of your face is inappropriate. Might as well go to Tinder or Bumble for that. Then do not use photos with dark lighting. Of course, how can we see you with that, right? Do not use overly angled or candid photos or even photos that are filtered. Do not use a photo with messy hair. And this one showed too much makeup. Well, that depends because actually there are kinds of makeup that would make you stand out, make you more beautiful and glamorous than your no makeup face. It's really fine to be yourself and to put on some makeup. It's subjective to say too much and less. That's my perspective as a woman. So, yeah, it's up to you on how much makeup you would like to put on. But I think the most important thing in the picture is the lighting. Okay, so that's it for tip number 4. Tip number 5 is to list down your skills. Okay, so we have here some samples of how skills are being listed down. So for this column, it's more of a category style. So skills in terms of HR, skills in terms of clinical psychology, and other skills. We also have here skills for a social media manager, I think. So, or a content creator, content marketing specialist. So you can put here the platforms that you're good with and a self rating. Actually, self ratings are very helpful because sometimes if there's no technical assessment or no need for like submitting a portfolio and all. Sometimes recruiters and interviewing managers just rely on your self ratings. They will just ask you on a scale of 1 to 5, how confident are you with using Google Ads? Something like that. So at least you already have your answer here. 3 out of 5, neutral, average. Okay, so that's your skill there. And for a data scientist here, we also have here um, the 5 star or 5 diamond rating with a description of the rating like excellent, excellent, very good, good. And this is the same also with languages because some positions would be particular with the languages you speak. So, for example, English, Filipino, Chinese, German, what else? Spanish. You can put that and put your self ratings, but you can also like indicate where you've learned these languages. Okay? So it doesn't have to be a long list of skills. Just put the ones that are necessary and relevant to the position you're applying for. So again, one sub tip, sub tip. I don't know how to term this, but one other tip I can give you is to review the job description, the job posting that you've seen, and match your resume with that job description or posting. Okay. And I think this, oh no, not the last, but the second to the last tip. Tip number 6, proofread or edit. Okay. Keep on reading your resume because sometimes there are tiny mistakes like typos, lack of punctuation marks, um, misspelled words. What else? Some even have like for example, you're writing your resume and then you forgot that you were messing around and you typed ha ha ha, and then you were not able to delete that ha ha ha, and you uploaded that resume to the company. Of course, the recruiters won't take you seriously because why are you putting here ha ha ha? And then the funny thing here is, for example, you are um applying as a QA specialist, and the requirement is to really have a sharp eye, a keen eye for details, and you have that ha 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 in your resume. How will you defend yourself in terms of that tiny mistake that you did not even edit, right? So you can use various platforms nowadays to proofread or edit any document. You can use Grammarly, you can use other kinds of um, apps for that. But if you'd like a human touch, you can always ask help from resume writers, HR professionals, or even English majors, writers, those who are really good at the command of English to proofread or edit your entire resume or CV. And the last but not the least is tip number 7, save your resume or CV as PDF. Why am I saying this? Why does it have to be PDF and not JPEG, not PNG, not document type? Well, this is a big preference of recruiters because sometimes when you upload a Word document, we have to download the file and we have to open MS Word. We have to open Google Docs so that we can view your resume or CV. And sometimes along the way, as we scroll down your profile, if it's a Word document, we might be able to type something there. Okay. And it's like if you're submitting your profile there with all your important details, if it's a Word document, anyone can change those details, right? What if the person you handed your resume to had a liking to your profile and had the intention to edit your profile and submit it somewhere else, put it on display somewhere else for his or her benefit? We'll never know, right? So the most important thing is to save it as PDF. At least it's locked in and it's easy to read, it's easy to download. And if the company or the organization is using an ATS would easily read a PDF file. AI can easily read a PDF file. Okay? So PDF files are much better over images, over Word documents. Okay. And sometimes there are also recruiters and managers that do not have the MS Word platform on their laptop. Say, for example, they are using another kind of word processor, or they're not using their laptop or PC at the moment. So they have to quickly view your resume online on their phones. So how can they do that if you submitted a Word document, right? So PDF is the way, guys. Okay, so that is my last tip for you guys. And um I hope you learned something. If you have any questions or any additional tips, you can share that in the comments to this video. I would really appreciate us helping each other stand out in the job market and eventually land our dream job or our targeted careers, right? So, yeah, this is all that I could share to you guys through this video. And I appreciate it if you made it this far. And I'm really hoping that you land your job, your targeted job, and more financial blessings will come your way, and you'll be blessed with great manager, great colleagues, a company that truly cares for employee health and well-being, and not just the money or the income that they'll be generating. So yeah, thank you so much for watching and good luck on your job search. Bye bye.